Hi viewers, Vanakkam, Vandanam, Namaskaram. You are watching Aha Namma channel. It's full and full education and entertainment. Watch the video carefully and learn it everything.
So what are perfect squares? So perfect squares are integers multiplied to themselves. So whenever an integer is multiplied to itself, it gives a perfect square. So you think of any example, you think of an integer like 1. So when 1 is multiplied to itself, you get 1 square. So this is a perfect square. 2 multiplied to itself, you get 2 square. The value is 4. So 4 is a perfect square. 3 multiplied to itself, 3 square, that is 9. So 9 is a perfect square. So let's take some bigger numbers like 10 multiplied by 10 gives you 10 square, which is 100. So 100 is a perfect square. If you have something like, let's say 800 multiplied by 800, what does it give? It gives 800 square, which is 640,000. That is 6,40,000. So this is also a perfect square. So whenever you talk about a number which is obtained by multiplying an integer with itself, that number is called a perfect square. Now the question is, why have we given this name perfect square? Is it that not all numbers are perfect squares? Because we have so many numbers, right? So here we see some examples like 1, 4, 9, 16, 100, 6,40,000 and so on. But don't we think that every number is a perfect square? No, that's not the case. Only some numbers are perfect squares. In fact, that is why we have given this special name to these numbers. So let's see what are non-perfect squares. That means those numbers which are not perfect squares, and where do they lie? So now if you very closely observe the perfect squares from the beginning. So when I say beginning, I would start with 1. So when you see the list, you would see that there are many numbers in between those perfect squares which are non-perfect squares. So non-perfect squares lie in between perfect squares. So the question is, how many non-perfect squares exist between two consecutive perfect squares? Okay, so we will talk about the number later. First, let's see that do they exist between perfect squares? Let's look at this. So here, all those numbers which are written in black, they are the perfect squares. Like, let's start with squaring the smallest possible natural number, which is 1. So when you square 1, you get 1, which is a perfect square. The next possible integer would be 2. So when you square 2, you get 4. So what about 2 and 3? So 2 and 3 are missing. So 2 and 3, they are non-perfect squares because we have squared the two consecutive integers, and the result that we have obtained, the results are not consecutive. Like when we square 1, we get 1, but when we square 2, we do not get 2, we get 4. So what happens? 2 and 3 gets missed. Why are they missed? Because they are not perfect squares. So there is no such number which when multiplied to itself gives 2. So when I say number, I am talking about integers. Similarly, when you square 3, you get 9. So what happened to the numbers between 4 and 9, like 5, 6, 7, 8? So they were missed. So these numbers which are getting missed in between, they are nothing but the non-perfect squares. So one more interesting thing that we observe here is, as the value of the perfect square increases, like earlier it was 1, then 4, then 9, then 16. So as the value of the perfect squares are increasing, do you notice something? That the number of non-perfect squares are also increasing. Like initially, between 1 and 4, there were 2 non-perfect squares. Right? Between 4 and 9, there are 4 non-perfect squares. Between 9 and 16, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 non-perfect squares, and so on. So basically, as the value of the perfect squares are increasing, the number of non-perfect squares between them is also increasing. Now, do you think that a fixed number of non-perfect squares exist between two consecutive perfect squares? So, two consecutive perfect squares could be 1 and 4, 4 and 9, 9 and 16. So, how many non-perfect squares exist between them? So, from this observation, you would see that between squares of numbers n and n plus 1, that is two consecutive perfect squares, there exists 2n non-perfect squares. So let's say that the value of n, let n is equal to 1. So if n is equal to 1, that means as per this statement, between 1 and 1 plus 1, which is 2. So between n and n plus 1, that is between 1 and 2, how many non-perfect squares should exist? 2n, that is 2 into 1. So there should be 2 non-perfect squares. And when you look at this, you see, yes, there are 2 non-perfect squares, 2 and 3. So this formula is true. So let's check the same formula for some other values. Let's say for n is equal to 5. So if n is equal to 5, that means between the squares of numbers 5 and 6. So between squares of 5 and 6, that means between 5 square and 6 square, how many non-perfect squares exist? 2 into n, that is 2 into 5. So there should be 10 non-perfect squares between 5 square and 6 square. So let's check here. This is 5 square, this is 6 square. So between 5 square and 6 square, we have these many non-perfect squares. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So there are 10 non-perfect squares. So this is a very simple formula which has been derived after observing this pattern. And this formula holds true for all the perfect and non-perfect squares. So whenever you have two consecutive perfect squares, the number of non-perfect squares between them will always be 2n. So you can put this formula and you can calculate how many non-perfect squares will exist between two perfect squares. So now let's talk about properties of perfect squares. Now these perfect squares also exhibit some special properties. They also show some special patterns. So let's talk about their properties. The first property is, if a number ends in 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9, then it must be a perfect square. So any number which ends in one of these digits, 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9, that number will be a perfect square. So let us look at the perfect squares of the first 10 natural numbers, like 1 square, 2 square, 3 square and so on. So when you look at these perfect squares, did you observe something? That all of these numbers have either 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9. At their units place. Like here it is 1, here it is 4, here it is 9, here it is 6, 5, 6, 9, 4, 1, 0. So do you have any such perfect square where the number ends in 3? No. Do you have any perfect square where the number ends in 2? No. So any perfect square will always end in one of these digits. Now you might say that how can I believe this statement only by looking at the squares of the first 10 natural numbers, because there are so many, there are infinite numbers. So it's possible that maybe squares of some number ends in 2 or 3. So how can I trust this? Okay. Now let's consider squares of some bigger numbers, right? So maybe bigger number like 65, you can have bigger number like 329, you can have a bigger number like 1697313. So I have taken some examples of bigger numbers and let's say that you have to square them. Right? So how do we know that when you square this number, because when you square this number, the result that you get is a perfect square. Right? Because that result can be obtained by multiplying a number by itself, because you are multiplying 65 by itself to get that number. So the square of 65 is a perfect square. But how do we know that what is that digit where the square of 65 ends? Now look at any big number. Now all these three numbers, what do they have at their units place? 65 has 5, 329 has 9 and this number has 3. So it doesn't matter what the length of the number is. in its units place, it will have one of the digits from 0 to 9, right? Because it cannot have any other digit. So many numbers which we use in mathematics, they are all formed by combination of these digits 0 to 9. Okay. So what is the possibility? I mean, how can we predict that what would be the digit in the units place of the result? For example, if I ask you to find out the value of 65 square, how will you find it? So you will multiply 65 with 65. And then you will multiply like this, 5 5s are 25. So 2 gets carried forward, 6 5s are 30. So 30 plus 2 is 325. Then you leave this units place. Then 6 into 5 is 30. So 3 gets carried forward, 6 6 the 36. 36 plus 3 is 39. And then you add these two, it is 5, 2, 2. This is 1. And this is 4. So this would be the square of 65. Now when you look at the result, what do you see? You have 5 at the units place. So why do you have 5 at the units place? Because the way we multiply two numbers, the units place will always be obtained by multiplying the two units place. So 65, 5 is at the units place. Again this 65, 5 is at the units place. So 5 multiplied by 5 is 25. Right? So when 5 and 5 are multiplied, the result is 25. That is 5 at the units place. Therefore, the result here also has 5 at the units place. So any perfect square will always have one of these numbers, because any perfect square will have whatever it has in the units place. That will decide what digit will be there in the units place of that perfect square. For example, let's look at this one. 329 whole square. So how do you know what will be its value? So it doesn't matter, just focus on the units digit. So the units digit is 9. So the moment you multiply these two numbers, the result, whatever the result may be, this is going to be a very big number. But at the units place, can you tell me what would be the digit? So the units place will be formed by multiplying the units place of the number. That is 329 multiplied by 329. So what do you have in units place? 9. Here also units place 9. So 9 multiplied by 9 gives what? 81. So in the units place you will have 1. Similarly, look at this one. This is also a perfect square. So what do you have at the units place? You have 3. So 3, so when you multiply this number by itself, so 3 of one number gets multiplied to 3 of the other number. So 3 multiplied by 3, therefore when you look at its result, again at the units place you would have 9, because 3 into 3 is 9. So in the units place you would have 9. So see, all of these are examples of perfect squares, because you know we have taken squares of numbers. So squares of numbers are perfect squares, and you see all of these perfect squares, they have one of these numbers. One has 1, this has 5, this has 1, this has 9, and they have one of these numbers. So it is just not possible that a perfect square can have something other than these numbers, because any perfect square will have one of these digits in its units place. So the final result that we get squaring any big number is decided by the units place of both the numbers. Like as I told here, like in 65, 5 decides what would be the units digit in the perfect square. Similarly, here 9 decides what would be the units digit in the final result. So therefore, all perfect squares will have 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9 in its units place. So here I have written a next set of perfect squares. So here also you can tally the same thing, like when you square 11. So 11 has 1 at its units place. So therefore the result would have 1 at the units place. 12 squares. So it has 2 at its units place. So 2 into 2 is 4. So this would have 4 at its units place. 13 square. 3 3s are 9. So 9 at its units place. So just to, kind of show you that yes, it's true. So let's move on to the next property. Now this is kind of related to this particular property, that looking at what is the number at the units place, we can also decide what would be the units place digit in its square. Like for example, for the initial few digits, if the number has 0, like 0 square is 0, 1 square is 1. 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9. So based on this basic squares, we can kind of find out the properties of all other bigger squares. Just see how. So if a number has 0 in its units place, then its square ends in 0. So it doesn't matter what number it is, how big it is. Let's think of a number like 10. So 10 square would be what? 10 square is 100. So any number which ends with 0, its square will also end in 0. Why? Because 0 square is 0. As I said, the units place decides what would be the units place in the final result. Right? So similarly, if you think of example like 430. So if you square 430, what would you get? So the value we do not, maybe even if you do not know the exact value that it will have, but this number, its square will definitely end in 0 because the units digit is 0 and 0 square is 0. So therefore here if you actually calculate, you see the value is 184900. So you see it ends in 0. If a number has 1 or 9 in the units place, then its square ends in 1. Why? Because 1 square is 1 and also 9 square is 1. So 1 and 9 in the units place behave the same way. Same way in the sense that in both those cases, the result would have 1 in the units place. So let's take some examples. So let's say if you talk about 21 square. So what would be the value? 21 multiplied by 21 gives you 441. So you see, since the number had 1 in the units place, the result also has 1 in the units place. Think of a still bigger number like 651 square. If you look at the exact value, it's 423801. Again, 1 at the units place. So what I'm trying to say is, even without doing the actual multiplication, just by looking at the units place of a particular number, you can see whether its square will have, what would be the units place in the square. So the square would end in what digit? If a number has 2 or 8 in the units place, then its square ends in 4. So you see here, 2 square is 4. And 8 square is 64. So 2 and 8 behaves in a similar way. So let's take an example. Let's say 22 square. What's the value of 22 square? It's 484. So any bigger number ending in 2, its square will end in 4 because the units place digits multiplied gives 4. 2 into 2 gives 4. Similarly, any bigger number ending with any bigger number ending with 8, its square would always end with 4. If a number has 3 or 7 in its units place, so 3 or 7, in that case the units digits, then the square would end in 9, like 53 square. The value of 53 square is 2809. So you see, since the number ends in 3, therefore its square ends in 9. If a number has 4 or 6 in its units place, then its square ends in 6. So 4 and 6 behavior is the same. So you think of 14 square, that is 196. So this number ends in 4, so the square ends in 6. And finally, if a number ends in 5, then its square also ends in 5. Like 15 square gives you 225. So the number ends in 5, its square also ends in 5. So, you really do not need to memorize the rules. Now, why I told you the rules was just to tell you that, this kind of pattern exists here. Why you don't need to memorize? Because you all know this, right? This part you all know, that 0 square is 0. 1 into 1 is 1. 2 square is 4. 3 square is 9. You know this. Now, as long as you know this, you really do not need to remember the rules because you know this. So, whenever you are given a bigger number, for example, let me give you an exercise. Let's say if I say that you have a number 17891 and you have to square this number. Now, you have to tell me that the square of this number would end in which digit. So, just focus on the units place. Units place is 1. Now 1 square is 1. So therefore the result would end in 1. So it is as simple as that. You do not need to memorize any rules. You just know these Just focus on the units digit of the given number. So looking at the unit digit, you can say what would be the units digit in the final result. Now, another important property, that squares of even numbers are even and squares of odd numbers are odd. Yes, this is true. So let's look at the same list once again. So when you look at this, you would see that all the odd numbers, so 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So these are all odd numbers. So when you look at their squares, so what are their squares? 1, 9, 25, 49, 81. So what are these? These are also odd numbers. Now, I hope all of you know what is an odd number. Odd number is that number which is not divisible by 2. And even numbers are those which are divisible by 2. Okay, so in this case, you see odd numbers, you square them, the result is also odd number. Right? On the contrary, look at the even numbers like 2, 4, 6 and 8, and they all gives results which are even again. So let us take some odd and even numbers randomly, like some bigger numbers which are odd and even respectively, and see if this rule holds true. So first let us take a set of even numbers. Let's say 22, 86, 192, 3022. So these are all even numbers, and let's say that we have to find out the squares of these even numbers. So what is the square of 22? So 22 square is 484. So you see at the end you have an even number. So here also at the end you have even number. 86 square is 7396. So even here, even here. 192 square is 36864. Here also, even here, even here. So also another very simple logic is that since you have 2 at the units place, so here units place would be 2 square, that is 4. Here units place is 6. So here units place would be 6 because 6 square is 36. Units place again 2, so this would be 4. So with that logic also this holds true, that whenever you square an even number, the result is also an even number. So here also whatever the result may be, but at the end you will have a 4 because it is 2 here. So 2 square is 4. Similarly, if you look at some odd numbers, let's say 31 square or 101 square or 793 square or 1645 square. So if you look at the values of each of these, so 1645 square would give you 2706025. So you have a 5 at the end, which is odd. 793 square gives you 628849. So 9 again is odd number. 101 square is 10201. So 1 again is odd. Similarly, try to find this out. 31 square. So here 1 is at the units place. So definitely at the end we are going to have 1. But what would be the exact value? You can calculate it yourself. So now, what do you see? That even if we take some even and odd numbers randomly and square them, we see that the squares of even numbers are even and the squares of odd numbers are odd. Another interesting property. Perfect squares can only have even number of zeros at the end. So now we are talking about numbers with zeros at the end. So if we say that a number with zeros at the end is a perfect square, what do I mean by that? I mean to say that that number is a product of two same numbers. For example, let's think of 100. So 100 is an example of a number with zeros at the end, right? Now, is 100 a product of two same numbers? Yes, because 100 is a product of 10 and 10. So two same numbers, when you find their product, you get 100. So 100 is a perfect square. But how many zeros 100 has? 100, there are 2 zeros in 100. Now let's take another number which ends with 0, but this time there are 3 zeros. So in this case you have 3 zeros. So you do not have even number of zeros. So this 1000 can be written as a product of 100 into 10. So are they two similar numbers? No, they are not similar numbers. Like in this case, 100 can be written as 10 square. But in this case, 1000 cannot be written as 10 square or 100 square, because 10 square would be 100 and 100 square would be 10,000. So there is no such number for whose square is 1000. So 1000 is not a perfect square. So with these two examples, what do we see? That a perfect square has even number of zeros, whereas a non-perfect square has how many zeros? Odd number of zeros. See here you have 3 zeros. So a number ending with odd number of zeros will be a non-perfect square, and a number ending with even number of zeros would be a perfect square. Again, if you take the example of 10,000, so here you have how many zeros? So you have 4 zeros. It's an even number of zeros. Now, if you look at it, you would see that it is 100 into 100. So 100 square is 10,000. So this is also a perfect square. So in this fashion, if you are given any random number, so just by counting the zeros at the end, you can tell whether that number would be a perfect square or not. So you do not even need to find out its factors or find out which number square is this. Just by looking at the number of zeros, you can decide if that number would be a perfect square or not. If a number has n zeros at the end, its square will have 2n zeros at the end. Now, this is quite logical. Now, when I say 10 square, what do I mean? I mean 10 multiplied by 10. So, the moment you multiply 10 with 10, what happens? The number of zeros double. Why double? Because you are multiplying 10 double times, like 2 tens are getting multiplied. So the number of zeros also get doubled. For example, here 100 square. So 100 has how many zeros? 100 has 2 zeros. But the result is 10,000, which has 4 zeros. So 4 is 2 times of 2. Right? So whenever you have a number with some number of zeros, if the number has 2 zeros, its square would have 4 zeros. If the number have 5 zeros, its square would have 10 zeros. If the number has 20 zeros, its square would have 20 into 2, that is 40 zeros. So any number, look at that number, see the number of zeros. If the number of zeros are even, that is a perfect square. Also, if you have to find the square of a certain number ending with zeros, so if you have some whatever number of zeros, you just multiply it by 2. So that many number of zeros would be there in its square.
Thank you for watching AHA நம்ம சேனல். இந்த வீடியோ உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்ததுன்னா கமெண்ட் பண்ணுங்க, லைக் பண்ணுங்க, ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க. மறக்காம இந்த சேனலை சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணிட்டு பக்கத்துல இருக்கக்கூடிய பெல் பட்டனை ட்ரைன் தட்டுங்க. Bye.